To go into a little more detail on that, whether a designer needs, an existing website or starting something from scratch, the lines get a little bit blurred these days because platforms make it so easy to publish a website. So whether that's Squarespace or Wix or WordPress or whatever, so you need to find out what you're talking about. If you have an existing website and you need a designer to just update it, sure, give them access. They can go in and edit the pages in place, maybe make a new page, and then you swap it over if you like that design. That's fine. The other thing you can do is, if your hosting allows it, set up a staging site. If they're going to be making more sweeping changes, like changing the theme and the design, the color palette and all of that, you want to do that in a staging environment before pushing it live. That way your existing site doesn't get muddled in the process. Now, traditionally, the more professional flow of things is when you're starting from scratch to do a full design project or a full redesign. You're starting over and you're not keeping anything that's existing. Is the designer would create mock-ups. So that might start as sketches, might turn into some JPEGs or PNGs that were exported from a tool like Photoshop, or whatever the graphic designer's tool of preference is. That way, they're used to that tool, they're quick, and they're good at creating these layouts and colors, so you get a feel for what the design is going to look like without spending the time to actually turn it into a functioning website. Now, that being said, we've got tools like Adobe XD and others. I mean, Figma and Sketch are not quite as at the level as XD, but it's a prototyping tool for web applications where you can still build quickly, and it kind of looks and feels like a website even though it's not a real website. So now some designers will use that, and so that's what you get when you're asking them for a design. And so instead of a mock-up, you're getting this prototype. And so I know it can be confusing too, because you're like, well, it looks like a website, why is it not done? But it's not actually a website, it's meant to look like a website. So hopefully that answers the question. It depends on the designer you're working with, what tools they use, and what your starting point is. So if you don't have a website and you're hiring a designer and they say, oh, I can make you a website, you just need to clarify with them, does that mean you're giving me designs for a website, or does that mean you're actually implementing a website for me? Because with all the latest page editors that are visual, you got Elementor and Beaver Builder and things, it's a lot easier for some people to work directly in that, and they're almost as fast in a lot of use cases to just build it as they go. And then that way, when they're done, they do have a working website. So it just depends on the level of complexity of the site and if you need additional functionality, if it's going to be custom or not. But all that to say, sometimes it's done in place, sometimes it's done separately. So if you have more specific questions, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to make another video.